turn your classroom upside down. As a learner, do you want more engaging training? And are you tired of lecture-based classes? Do you want more practice in class? Do you feel that you and your colleagues are untapped resources that are not used in training sessions? Would you like to have more time to process information? And as a leader, do you want to increase performance on the job? Were you ever frustrated because you saw little change in behavior after training? Do you find your employees forgetting the majority of training content as soon as they leave the classroom? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you might be interested in knowing more about the flipped classroom model. Before talking about what the flipped classroom is, let's take a look at what usually happens in a classroom training today. Learners spend their time in class listening to lectures. How much passive versus active learning do employees experience in a typical training? Think back to some of the couple of trainings you have been through recently. Regardless of your rank in the company, you were probably absorbing a lot of information, but not engaging with it. Research tells us that after 20 minutes of passive listening of the content, any learner will tune out and start engaging in activities that are not related to the content, or just daydreaming. Let's be honest. How often are employees put through hours or days of passive learning and then expected to apply the new skills immediately and consistently? Learners are dependent on teachers' pace. Trainings are limited by time and agendas. Sure, you may be able to ask questions, but you probably won't ask the presenter to repeat what they said over and over again. Has it ever happened that you had a question and never asked it, and as a result, you fell behind in your training? Not everyone processes information in the same way and at the same pace. Learners get limited practice in class. Research shows us that true mastery of content happens when learners are engaging and working inside the content, not listening and absorbing information. If employees are not given an opportunity to apply the content in the classroom, how can they be expected to transfer those skills on the job? The classroom is teacher-centric. In a traditional classroom model, instructors are the main resource and authority on the subject matter. They have full control of the classroom and activities. As a trainee, you often work alone and your options to direct your own learning are limited. But don't you think that with all of your life experience and professional experience, that you and your colleagues can bring and share valuable insight? Shouldn't there be time made for that exchange? So, what exactly is a flipped classroom model? A flipped classroom model is a concept borrowed from K-12 in which students come to class after previously reading about the concepts or listening to lectures at home so that they can practice collaboratively with the help of the instructor. It has proven to tremendously improve students' success rates. Trainings are built to improve performance, and essentially most employees care about their work and want to do it better. Being able to explore new ideas in a safe and supportive environment, the trainees can build their way up to the desired performance improvement. So how can a flipped classroom model help you get more out of your training and accomplish organizational goals at the same time? First, learners gain content knowledge outside the classroom. In the flipped classroom model, learners have access to the content using a variety of educational technologies and tools. Instead of being presented with the content in a long face-to-face session, they are given several days to get familiarized with the material. They watch videos, do their reading, and complete introductory activities in their own time at a place of their choosing. Secondly, learners have control of their learning. Don't we all love being able to fit training into our schedules and not the other way around? Since the content in the flipped classroom model is available online, it can be accessed through mobile devices anytime, anywhere. The learners can view or read it as many times as they need to, while in the classroom, they would generally be presented with the material once. 100% of instructional time is active learning. After completing their online modules, learners come to class and they already have the basic understanding of the material, so instructors dedicate 100% of class time to engaging them with the content. Also, learners get more one-on-one teacher and student time. In the flipped model, instructors are able to put learners in groups and focus on those who need extra help. There is little lecturing to the entire class. The participants dive into the content right away. Learners also engage in problem-based and exploratory learning in class. Instructors present the learners with problems related to their jobs that they will actively solve applying the knowledge learned online. For example, in professional excellence programs partnering with DADS class, social workers bring current cases of their choice. They can use the knowledge and points of view from their peers to work out solutions that they might not have thought about otherwise. And finally, the instructor allows for student-centric teaching. The classroom becomes student-centric because the instructor relinquishes his role as a sole knowledge source or sage on the stage. We all already know how to teach ourselves without anyone's help. We do it every day in our personal and professional life by looking up information on Google and YouTube. Now, let's hear some feedback that we received after our pilot of Partnering with DADS course, designed according to the flipped classroom model.
I really like the flipped classroom. Knowing the materials before I go into the classroom, I feel that it makes the conversations more intellectual and more engaged.
Coming to class and applying what we're learning to one of my actual cases that I'm having a hard time with, because I ended up sitting at a table with the supervisor, so it's just not a whole bunch of case managers who are all new and still trying to figure it out. But this was someone who was a case manager for 11 years, and she really gave me like a lot of insight on my case and what I could do next.
Some highlights for me with the flip classroom was actually I loved the videos and the testimonials from the fathers, and then the reflection questions based on those videos where I was able to learn about my own biases and those work with the fathers that we do. And so this classroom and being in the comfort of your own home, you can have those aha moments and you can have those self-reflection moments and be like, yeah, I need to improve this, or yeah, I need to keep doing this.